Hello. So Scrafters, this is game 2, Genie versus Trumpinator. We've got the name tags up at the top. You know what I haven't done for ages? I haven't done the wide angle. Let's zoom this bad boy out. It's Genie on the top of this map, and if we wind our way across the map, down we go, we find at the other end Trumpinator. Trumpinator not saying GLHF to his... Oh no, he did. I tell a lie. So everything very friendly. So there's the Trumpinator's base. As you can see, he's got the expo at the back. This is the same map as before. Vanny Research Station and Trumpinator with the wall off as per standard. Not sure about the racks here. If you've built the depot here, you might as well build the racks here. Let's bring back the overlay so that I can see a mini-map. You know, I'd like there to be an overlay that does have the mini-map, but just doesn't have all of this guff over on the right, because really I don't need it. But, you know, I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can keep the mini-map, get rid of the rest. More's the pity. So let's have a peek at what these two players get up to. I might, you know, that's, what's normal? That's normal right there, isn't it? I might just cast the whole game zoomed out. What do you think? I'll give it a try. Give me feedback in the comments if we like the zoomed out mode. We'll just go with that. So side core for Genie, everything looking very, very straight up and normal. 2 gas is the only thing that interests me here. There are 2 gas. So the second gateway comes down. No units out of the first gate yet. Side core not even done yet, but 2 gas, and we can see up in the top right that we're beginning to accumulate a bit of gas. Trumpinator looking very normal indeed. Couple of racks, 1 gas, and you know, just building, feeling, I don't know, feeling threatened. Building a pretty early bunker at the front door, and that's fine. I don't mind that. Engineering bay, sorry, the engineering bay goes down as well, and that's fine too. Orbital command is done, but no mules dropped yet. Don't forget that that is one of the key functions. The key functions of an orbital command is to drop mules on your mineral line. Mules mine quite a lot. Yeah, they collect minerals more quickly than SCVs. I can't remember how much more quickly. If anybody knows, stick it in the comments. It's faster though, faster than SCVs, and you do notice mules in your sort of income. It's pretty common if you drop mules to a little while later kind of realize, oh look, I've got loads of money. Oh, what's this? Templar Archives and a robo facility. Are we going to see a storm drop? I'd love to see a storm drop. I'm a huge fan of Templars. You know, if I'm playing Protoss, that's my kind of go-to, is just mass Templar. And why? Because it's awesome. Not only is it awesome, but it looks cool. You know, storms are pretty kick-ass. Templars are so kick-ass, they don't even walk around. They just like hover about the place. That's how badass they are. So, you know, I'll be honest with you, I don't generally have my Templar archives done quite this early though, even if I am going for a sort of Templar oriented build. And the key reason for that is Templars cost a lot of gas, and you cannot really do any sort of serious Templar production off 2 gas. You know, so typically I'll have my second base up and running long before I'd think about dropping Templar archives, and then I'd probably you know, I'd probably be going mass Templar when I'm up to 3 bases. But you know, if we're going to see a Templar drop, then I'm all for any of whatever's about to happen. So over in Trumpinator's base, we can see that +1 weapons almost finished from the engineering bay here. We can see that stim and combat shield have not yet been upgraded, and they are, you know, those are more important than +1. They just are. Oh, hello, what's happening here? This is just a single marine turning up to have a little poke at some stuff. Okay, so an Archon from the first couple of Templars. Archons are awesome units, you know, they're badass. but they're also pretty expensive. So, you know, cranking out Archons off a single base. Yeah, okay. So, what else is building here? Gateway, couple of pylons, more gateways. Yeah, I'm a bit freaked out that there's still no expand. Given how straightforward the expand is on this map, to not yet have one, I'm finding a little bit weird. This guy parked over here is parked over here because of something. And you know what? Whether it's good management, whether he's parked him here to spot incoming drops, or if he's accidentally been left here because he was going to build a turret and then didn't, who knows. But this SCV is in prime position to give the heads up about this incoming warp prism. Look at that, that's awesome. So if you're watching the minimap Trumpinator, you know that this stuff has arrived in your base. The gateways, are they ready? They're just finishing up now, so the warp prism a fraction early, but it doesn't really matter. Those warp gates, once they're converted, will allow a large warp in to happen. Has Genie got the supply? He does. Has he got the minerals though? No, he doesn't. So this isn't a well-timed warp prism attack. In fact, he's kind of shanked this. This many Marines won't have any. Oh, is he shooting his own command center? That's absolutely what he's doing. He's shooting his own command center. So that's very much a that's very much a mistake. I don't think, you know, as a caster, that's probably one of the aspects of the game that I don't have to point out to you, that shooting your own command centers is an error. Also, parking that far away from the mineral patch is an error. Why didn't you park here closer? Please repair this. Okay, he is repairing it, good. Yeah, so I like the idea, Genie. I like the idea. I didn't like the execution. I'm not really sure what these pylons are for. You've got the warp prism. When you're warping in units from warp gates, they warp in significantly quicker if the pylon that you're warping them in at, you know, pylons have a kind of power field around them where you're able to warp in units. If that pylon is powering a gateway, the units warp in significantly faster. However, oh goodness, what is with this Novice League, man, and people just thinking, I know where I'll expand. Right next to my opponent is where I'm going to expand. But anyway, with the warp prism, units do in fact warp in at the faster rate. So, you know, having a warp prism at the front means you don't have to drop forward pylons. Okay, Dark Shrine is building. So here is the Dark Shrine. That will enable two things. It will enable Dark Templars, which are permanently cloaked units and can be absolutely vicious. They do an awful lot of damage to light, so they do huge damage. In fact, they just do huge damage. I don't think they get a light bonus. They just do savage amounts of damage. Yeah, so DTs are permanently cloaked, and they can hack their way through Marines. They can hack their way through a mineral line very, very quickly indeed. They're quite a deadly unit. The Dark Shrine, this is new to StarCraft in the most recent patch. The Dark Shrine allows you to upgrade this Shadow Stride, which is basically Blink for DTs. Yeah, as if they weren't evil enough already. Now they can blink. So I'm a little concerned that our Terran player just isn't doing stuff. We've got a lot of barracks here just not building. You know, we've got a tech lab that isn't upgrading STEM. We've got an engineering bay that isn't carrying out any upgrades. So yes, there's a factory building, but you know, what else is happening? You've got this Ghost Academy. Are you building ghosts? No. Are you researching stuff? No. Oh dear. Yeah, okay. So meanwhile, Genie, what is it that you're doing? These are DTs. Look at them. Look at their savagery. You know, so they're not the toughest of units. They've got a large amount of shield. think I was talking earlier, or maybe it was in the last game, about ghosts and the fact that ghosts can EMP, which removes the shields from units. And here you can see that DTs, you know, 2/3 of their hit points are actually shield. But look at the damage they do, 50 damage per hit. So what that means is they one-shot these little fellas, literally slice, slice, slice. So a DT and a mineral line can do, you know, a lot of damage pretty quickly. Like it a lot. We've got the Immortal dropped out, but it looks like the turrets managed to get the kill and take out the Warp Prism. So this Immortal is on his own and has no way out. 3 Marines isn't enough. Don't want to get anyone in trouble, but Immortals are pretty nails. You're going to want more than 3 Marines. That's more than enough. Yeah, good. Yeah, so the Immortal, you know, certainly got a few kills, and let's just take a peek at what just happened. Yeah, so only 1 worker killed. Only the 1. Interesting. I could have sworn it killed like more than that, but no, it didn't. It just like dented several of them, didn't it? Look how many of them it's dented. So yeah, there you go. So only 2 kills. So very little achieved with that, and at the loss of a Warp Prism and at the loss of the Immortal itself. If we look at the units lost tab, we can see that Trumpinator is actually doing significantly better than his opponent. However, if we look at the income tab, that's a little embarrassing. That's partially because these workers just aren't really doing anything, and they should be. That's partially, oh, here comes some mules. Yeah, let's see just how much of a difference these mules make. Now remember that this is a rolling average, so it'll take a little while for this to, yeah, I'll say that it didn't take that long, did it? As these mules start mining, just look how quickly this rolling average bumps up. Isn't that's an enormous difference? It also helps that he's put the SCVs back to work as well. Yes, so another Warp Prism, this time with DTs in it. The problem is, look how quickly they kill stuff, man. I don't know about attacking the command center. I mean, it's not a crazy idea, because actually with 4 DTs you can do a lot of damage very fast indeed. Trumpinator pretty much lost the last game to DTs, as I recall. I mean, he made a couple of bad decisions, but cloaked units did huge amounts of damage to him. The sooner he realizes that a scan from your orbital command center can detect these things for you, then the better he's doing. It appears that he is not aware that that is a possibility. Oh, there we go. But you don't have enough there to kill them. You know, these DTs just, you know, at 50 damage per hit, they absolutely muller stuff. But it looks like he's going to let this turret finish up, and that's going to be the end of this DT as well. So in the end, Trumpinator manages to clean it up pretty handily, but at the expense of a large number of workers. So that is definitely going to have hurt him, and look at just that's insane. You know, if only Genie were spending all that money that he's making, then this game would probably already be over, but mostly he's just saving it. I don't know what type of savings account this is. Maybe it's an endowment policy or something. Maybe it's going to mature in a while, or you know, maybe it's a retirement fund. Who knows? Anyway, these units are not going to break this position. In fact, they're simply all going to die, and that's not very nice. So, what's going on in the production tab? More DTs coming. More DTs. And charge being researched, and you know, I like that. I like that a lot. There's a very old kind of established Protoss style that is charge lot Archon, and it's a nice style. You know, it's a nice sort of thing to play. If you have a Templar heavy army, Templars cost a lot of gas. You turn the spare minerals that you have into zealots, and you get charged to accompany that, and you end up with an army that basically consists of zealots, Templars and Archons, and it's a very, very effective army. Obviously the Templars need a little bit of micro, but you know, honestly, the Templars are a pretty easy thing to micro. You press the T button and you slam you just spam storms all over your opponent. And when you've got no storms left, you hold the C button and you arc on them all. It's pretty straightforward stuff. And I'd recommend it to our Novice League. You know, Charge Lots and Archons can take on most things effectively. Oh, Trumpinator. Oh, Trumpinator. Sorry, literally nobody wants to hear me sing. So, Planetary Fortress here, and you know, I don't mind that at all. I don't mind a planetary. I think this particular base is probably easy enough to defend, to be honest. With your army in this sort of position, it can move to defend from here, from here, from here. You know, once you expand up here, then yeah, planetary grid. But yeah, I don't mind the planetary. Trumpinator knows that this is here. And really, you know, if you know that your opponent is mining from a gold base somewhere like that, you should really make it your business to try and put that expand out of action. It's a long way from home. It's very hard for Genie to reinforce that. You know, so I don't know. We can see these twin forges working away. This is going to be weapons level 3 coming from the Protoss. Meanwhile, these Marines are 1-1. Now shields 1. I'm just wondering about this Protoss army. He's got +1 weapon, +2 weapons, no shields, no armor, and actually that's a bit back to front. If you're playing against Terran as a Protoss, it is armor and shields that you should prioritize. Assuming your opponent is going Marine heavy. And the reason for that, if we look at what Marines do, a Marine rifle does 6 damage. I know that says 7, but that's because of the +1. It does 6 damage, but it fires very, very quickly indeed. So it's lots and lots of repeat hits of 6 at a time. If you have +1 armor, that means you subtract 1 from the damage dealt with each shot. So you imagine a bunch of Marines do 10 lots of 6 damage. Well, if you subtract 1 from each shot, you've subtracted a sixth of the total damage output. If you look at something like an Immortal, for example, what it does is 22 damage. If you get +2 on that, it does 24 damage. So its damage output has actually increased by a very small fraction indeed. However, if you'd have got armor, you'd have decreased the damage output of your opponent by a very large fraction. So, you know, armor and shields is definitely the way to go against Marines. Anyway, you know, having a much bigger army is quite good too. So this looks like the end for Trumpinator. I don't see that he's got anything that can really deal with this. I've no idea why Genie is building a forge and a gateway and cannons here. Nobody really knows. He's gone mad, I suppose. He's looked in the bank and he's thought, you know, forward pylon would be useful, and maybe if I build a gateway next to it, I can warp in quicker. And I'll tell you what, why don't I just like knock out a forge and some other stuff while I'm there? This forge is... This is literally the most pointless forge in the world. He has 2 forges at home and he's already at +3 armor. So, you know, he can only possibly upgrade 2 things at a time, and he's already got 2 forges at home. But when you've got 3 grand in the bank, maybe he's just showing off. Maybe he's just spending money to kind of go, look how much money I've got. It's the Protoss equivalent of mana mules, you know, which is the in-your-face that Terrans will do if they think they've had an easy win. They'll drop mules all up in their opponent's face just to say, look, I didn't even have to drop these mules to mine, I'm just dropping them in your face to annoy you. So this handful of Marines has killed an Expo here, has maybe killed a couple of workers here, but it just doesn't matter. You know, so much money in the bank, and the army supplies are very, well, they're very different, aren't they? More alarming really is... No, wait, wrong one. Can I get an upgrades thing? Is there an upgrade spending button? I don't know that there is. If we look at the upgrades, you know, the Marines are 1-1, but +3 +3 shield, sorry, +3 attack and +1 shields and +1 armor. for the Protoss stuff means that it's just nails, and it's going to just walk through everything here. Nothing is going to stop it from coming in here and just wrecking. Nothing. You know, I guess if you're Trumpinator, you might be feeling good about this little bit of sort of sweet Rwangi that's going on over there, but ultimately you're going to lose all of your stuff here. Oh my goodness, look at this. Apparently I'm offline. Yeah, my internet connection's been a bit weird today. It was failing to sort of stream music earlier in the kitchen, and it was being a bit weird. So I think I'm going to have to get on the phone to Virgin and give them a hard time. Oh, yeah, that might have been a bit of an over response there, Genie. You know, why don't I warp in some DTs to kill these 8 Marines? How many DTs will I need to kill them? How many units that the Marines can't see and therefore can't kill will I need to kill them? Well, let's go with it. Yeah, why not? Okay, so what we're watching here is cleanup, really, isn't it? There's some stuff here. It's like a Marine. And this force is just going to work its way through the turn base, and it's GG. So assuming my internet connection hasn't completely failed, I will upload this cast as soon as I'm able. GG, man.